Hello National University Virtual High School students working on your AP US History B coursework. I want to review with you Assignment 1 in Unit 8. Today we're looking at Part 1 of that assignment, numbers 1 through 10 on the article on page 895, Reagan and America's Shift to the Right. Let's look at the first question. How was Reagan's delivery different than Barry Goldwater's? How did Reagan choose to characterize decisions United States citizens were making when they went to the polls? Let's take a real quick look at his rhetoric in this short YouTube segment from the 1964 Republican National Committee Convention.
You and I are told increasingly we have to choose between a left or right. Well, I'd like to suggest there is no such thing as a left or right. There's only an up or down. Man's old age dream, the ultimate in individual freedom consistent with law and order, or down to the ant-heap of totalitarianism. And regardless of their sincerity, their humanitarian motives, those who would trade our freedom for security have embarked on this downward course. In this vote harvesting time, they use terms like the Great Society, or as we were told a few days ago by the President, we must accept a greater government activity in the affairs of the people. But they've been...
So that gives you an idea. He is on the attack, of course. He is being aggressive. His rhetoric isn't quite as bombastic as some of Goldwater's writings, and we'll have a chance to review those in your coursework. But he is drawing a line there. He is uniting at the same time. Notice he says there is no left or right. He then goes on to say something about the Great Society being going in the wrong direction. He also echoes, in your textbook doesn't say this, the words of Benjamin Franklin about choosing between security and also the words of Thomas Jefferson, choosing between security and safety and liberty being a false choice. So these are all really things that resonate with the society and culture American spirit, and of course that's going to pick up a lot of popularity for Reagan. How did Reagan choose to characterize the decisions the United States were making when they went to the polls? That they were about the nation, about the country, about the ultimate freedoms, not about Democrat, Republican, right or left. Who did Reagan borrow the phrase from? That was FDR. He says, you and I have a rendezvous with destiny. And he goes on to say, we can preserve for our children this, the last best hope of man on earth, or we can sentence them to take the first step into 1,000 years of darkness. This was from, of course, FDR. And it was a bit ironic in that FDR was a lifelong Democrat. But Reagan is saying, when he's announcing his switch to the Republican Party, he's saying that he's not really taking sides in terms of Democrats and Republicans. He's in America in a way, and that's a bigger thing for him than party. According to the text, when did Reagan's political views change? Let's take a look at that. You'll want to look on page 895. Read that second paragraph down a bit. That's going to be number 3. When he started to be a spokesman for a large American corporation, General Electric Theater, for General Electric, he started to change his views about the nation and his politics. Why did a group of Reagan's wealthy friends encourage him to run for office? Because he gave great speeches, for one, and they thought he'd be persuasive. Again, page 895. Moving down from there, according to the text, how was Reagan able to capture the votes of so many middle-class Americans? Reagan appealed to their resentment of high taxes, expanding welfare programs, and bureaucratic regulation. 6. Did Reagan only support conservative political measures? He was very flexible and allowed the advice and support of Democrats as well. He was very supportive of both sides in office. Let's see. What was the result of California's Proposition 13? It cut property taxes in half and also cut many programs. Why was the Engel versus Vitale case important for Americans on the right and left? That's because it was important for both sides because it increased political activity greatly. I'm going to pause here and I'll come back to you with those last few and continue on.